Hi, Collette.
Hi.
I'm hiding in a little corner of my garden. Actually, I've got these really pretty, I don't know if you guys can, if you can see them. Here they are. Really pretty, hey?
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's like a big truck in our driveway dumping off fence posts, and I'm right squeezed in my house and the neighbors, hiding in a shadowy corner. Nobody can find me.
That's funny. Down the sliver of the side of the house.
I felt bad. The neighbor came out to talk to me, or just came out, and I was like, I can't talk. I'm not talking to Collette. But I'm hiding, finding my new little hiding place. This is kind of cool. I like hiding places.
There you go. Yeah, that's a thing of yours, isn't it?
It's mine, actually. I was just actually, as soon as I said it, it brought me back to my childhood. Like whenever I was in, or even still in my adulthood, I would like hide in closets and small little places where people couldn't find me. It was a really, it was a thing, and it still is. Like these small, like I'm just curled up in a little, see, I'm a little curled up here
Mm-hmm.
in a kind of ball, hiding behind a bush.
Yep.
But yeah, I just snugged up here, and it just feels like, oh, this is comfortable and this is safe.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. There's no COVID-19 right here.
Oh my goodness.
I know, what a thing, hey? Like how everybody's saying like how March felt like a year, because so much happened in March. You know, now that we're, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So much change in such a short period of time for so many people, for everyone.
Totally. Just FYI, if you move very much, you get a little bit glitchy. So just
okay, I won't move. I'm
stay very still. You're really be hiding.
Just before you ask me a question, I want to tell you my granddaughter called me this morning, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, Grandma, my mom's pregnant, and she's really pregnant. She's like a lot pregnant. Like, it's so exciting, Grandma." And it was on a little voice message, and I'm like, "What?" So right away I called her, and she goes, "April Fools!"
She gotcha.
She totally got me.
That's funny.
That's the only reason.
Yes, the April Fools. It's like I was contemplating the people in my life that are normally very pranksterish, and going, I wonder what they're going to do creatively this year. But in all seriousness,
yes,
I thought of the perfect conversation for today, because I was having feelings of my own around noticing I'm feeling like I'm getting this attachment to how this is all going to play out in the end. Like I have ideas that, oh, it would be so great for humanity if this happened, or it'd be so great for society if everyone learned this, and based on my own beliefs of what I think is right and wrong, right? and I feel myself get like a little bit attached to that, to my idea of how it could all work out for the better. And when I feel that, when I notice that, when I'm having those thoughts, I'm like, I automatically feel a little bit of despair that I'm like, I might not be right though. Like, there's a good chance this isn't what's going to happen. It's not going to be based around my beliefs or whatever, you know what? Like, it's just this, and it's kind of like it pulls on my heart a little bit, because I'm like, I just want it to be different. I want it to be better based on my better, right and wrong. And I know I know what I have learned through Science of Mind about right and wrongs all this while, and yet here I'm having this experience where I'm just getting pulled into my right and wrong just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's a relevant conversation because, of course, we're all having that experience and everything is based on our judgment, you know?
Oh yeah,
So I thought I
totally.
should seek your wisdom today on that.
Yeah, we just had our back to basics class last night, and we were talking a lot about how our our experience of the world around us is through our own storytelling in our mind, and that we can weave our stories any way we want, really. I had just a subtle, or not so subtle, but a good example at lunch, um, and it just caught myself in my own story. And so I'm happily working out here in the garden, and I'm, rolling rocks up the lawn and building little rock walls. And all of a sudden I hear my text messaging go off. So I have a look, and it's Blake. And he says, hi. And usually when he says hi, it means, hey, what are you doing? When are you coming home? Or what are you doing? What's for dinner? Or what are you doing? Anyway, my story, right? I got right there, boom, story. So I said, hi. I look at the time and it's 1:00 and we haven't had lunch yet. And I said, oh, I guess you're wondering about lunch. Again, a story I just wrote, that it's my responsibility that I prepare lunch for us, and that he's going to sit in the house looking at out the window at me working, not preparing lunch for us, but waiting for me to come in from me working to prepare him lunch. Oh my gosh, if I didn't spiral into my whole story of, are you kidding me? You're going to look out the window and page me to come in and make lunch. Like, what? Oh my God. And it was such a story. And so I really held back. Actually, that's not, I really held back, although a few little snarky comments came out, because what happens for me when I don't deal with what's really going on, as I believe it does for lots of people, side comments come out that aren't even relevant. And I start snapping, right? Because I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. I've written a story. I haven't even talked to him about my story, and I'm angry. And so I made him lunch. I made me lunch, and I said, I'm going to go eat outside. Here's your lunch. And he came and he joined me. And as soon as he started eating, he started mellowing out. And then we ate a lunch. And after lunch, trying to make this story shorter, after lunch, now he's not hungry. And I said, and he was washing dishes. And I said, thanks for washing dishes, hun. And he goes, yeah, I'm really sorry for being really short. He said, I let myself get really hungry. And I said, oh yeah. I said, like, if you're hungry, go ahead and make lunch. And if you want to throw something together for me while I'm out there working, like, no big deal. And he goes, yeah, I'd like to do that, but I let myself get too hungry before I could think straight. And it was such a good conversation that we had, without it being my resentment and his angst from feeling hungry and not, he can't think straight because he was so hungry, right? And I thought, wow, to me, it's that same idea. It's like how we live, the tendency is to live from story, and they're just not true. They're as true as they're true to us because we write them and we make them true. And we're going to make sure that our story stays true and strong and valid. And we'll do everything to gather evidence to back up our story. So whether it be as simple as that whole lunch making deal for me, or as more complex as the world and what it's going to look like after this whole pandemic. And then we can buy into our stories, and then we can start funding our stories, and then we can gather evidence, and then partnerships in our stories. Really, that's what we're doing all the time, right?
Yeah, it makes me think of the times when you say, "And how's that working for you?" Because in your story, it seems like, you may have had, like in the story you just told, you may have had, your story come up in your mind and like start doing its thing. And maybe it ran away with you a little bit, but you didn't let it run away with, you know, out outward in life. You didn't let it turn into this big tumultuous thing that it didn't need to be.
Could have very easily been, because I was so wrapped in my story. I was like, seriously, there's the effing vegetables. You want vegetables? Heat them up. Make your own damn lunch. Like, I could have just been snarky, like you would not, couldn't believe, right? But I realized where it was, I realized it was coming from. I realized that it wasn't fair, because the other part of it, the other subtle story that was running there was that his hi means, when are you going to come make me lunch? He didn't say, when are you going to come make me lunch? He just said hi. I could have responded and said, oh, have you got lunch ready for us? Are you calling me in for lunch? Like, why did I assume that he was asking me to make him lunch? Like, I wrote that story. And because I ran in and did it, I actually became part of fulfilling that story. So feeding this repetition thing.
It can be so darn hard to remove yourself from the story. If my story isn't true and your story isn't true, what is actually true?
Oh, well, that's an easy one. As soon as you ask me those questions, you throw me into my spiritual rants. Because we know that there's just one truth. And it's as true as the sky is blue and the sun creates warmth, and this the universe. It's just, we're all connected, we all belong, we're all important. There's just one whole expansive life. And we last night were talking in class again about the isness. There's just isness. And anything outside of this moment, my the coolness of my butt against the damp grass, like, that's an isness right now. And it's there's no story to it. It's just is. It's just the facts of life around us in this moment. And anything outside of that, we're I can't remember, I was listening to, I'll have to listen to the recording again. I really like him. What's the comedian's name that I like?
Russell Brand?
Nope. I like him.
Like, what comedian?
Oh, Jim Carrey. That
Oh,
one.
Jim Carrey.
He was talking about how he was talking about the present moment, and how when he starts running the reels of a future story, because all stories are in the future, or they're memories of the past, but they're not present moment. And he talks about his wading through the life of a, a a TV star, a movie star, and how being didn't he left drugs to come to the present moment. That really the place of security, the place of pause, the place of power, of wholeness, is this present moment. And then this present moment. And then this present moment. Like, I can't even, like, as soon as I put words to it, that moment's over and I'm in the next one. And so to me, it's always the coming home to that, and the attributes of what that is. It's peace, power, beauty, love. What else?
Light, joy, yes.
And these beautiful flowers in this present moment. But it's, Eckhart Tolle will say, as soon as you identify the flower, we've stepped out of the present moment. As soon as I say flower, now I'm no longer in the relationship with it in this present moment, right? So it's such a subtle place of being.
Well, thank you for that.
And it can feel fleeting, because it's a practice. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, There you go. Thank you. There's my one side. There we go. Love you.